Well, I was just going to say some things. And you heard that this is my 9th hearing. And I think we've got to look at this. These are very unique circumstances. Not only is the country deeply divided politically, we also find ourselves with a president who faces his own serious problems. Over a dozen cabinet members and senior aides to President Trump have resigned, been fired, or failed their confirmations under clouds of corruption, scandal, and suspicion. The president's personal lawyer, campaign manager, deputy campaign manager, and several campaign advisors have been entangled by indictments, guilty pleas, and criminal convictions. So it's this backdrop that this nominee comes into when what we're looking at is he within the mainstream of American legal opinion, and will he do the right thing by the Constitution? We are also experiencing the vetting process that has cast aside tradition in favor of speed. When Justice Scalia died, Republicans refused to even a meeting in their office with President Obama's nominee, and held the seat open for 1 year. Now, with a Republican in the White House, they've changed their position. The majority rushed into this hearing and is refusing to even look at the nominee's full record. In fact, 93% of the records from Kavanaugh's tenure in the White House as counsel and staff secretary have not been provided to the Senate, and 96% has not been given to the public. We do know what the White House thinks of this nominee. Don McGahn, the White House counsel, spoke to the Federalist Society and made clear Brett Kavanaugh is exactly the kind of nominee the president wanted. In his speech, Mr. McGahn discussed President Trump's 2 lists of potential Supreme Court nominees. One, he said, was filled with mainstream candidates. The other list included candidates that are kind of too hot for prime time, the kind that really would be really hot in the Senate. Probably people who have written a lot. We really get a sense of their views, the kind of people that make people nervous. That's a quote. Now, what I'm saying, this is the backdrop into which we come into this situation. So, yes, there is frustration on this side. We know what happened with the prior nominee, the last one President Obama presented to us. He never even got a meeting. He never got a hearing. He never got a vote. And now the rush to judgment and the inability to really have a civil and positive process ends up being the result. I really regret this, but I think you have to understand the frustration on this side of the aisle. Everyone on this side of the aisle wants to do a good job. They want time to be able to consider what the findings are. And there are tens of thousands of pages of emails and other items which could constitute findings on a whole host of major subjects that this nominee may be faced with. And they're serious. The torture issues, all of the Enron issues that he's been through, all of the kinds of things that we want to ask questions about. So, I mean, understand where we're coming from. It's not to create a disruption. It's not to make this a very bad process. It is to say, majority, give us the time to do our work so that we can have a positive and comprehensive hearing on the man who may well be the deciding vote for many of America's futures.